It's Thursday, February 21st, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. We start off with news of more problems at another of the country's educational institutions. Less than a week after action by educators at the Milton Primary School over security concerns, reports have emerged that similar action is being taken by teachers at the Milton Lynch Primary School. Barbados Today has learned that a majority of teachers at the Christchurch institution called in sick for a second straight day yesterday, forcing the school's closure. And parents were again called in to pick up their charges after only 3 teachers showed up for work. There were no confirmed reports of a sick-out. However, the educators have long complained about environmental issues related to the physical infrastructure. The president of the Barbados Union of Teachers has said he can't speculate on the teacher's illness. Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw says her ministry has received no formal explanation from the teachers or their bargaining agent.
On the Tuesday of this week, my understanding is that the members of the teaching staff, some of them would have messaged and some of them would have called the principal to indicate that they were not feeling well and that they would be unable to come to work. As a result of which, obviously, arrangements would have been put in place to deal with that. This is now the second day that the teachers have not been at work. Up until this point in time, we have actually not had any communication, either through the principal or through the Ministry of Education, from the teachers in relation to if there is a reason for them being unwell. I don't know if it is coincidence. I don't know if it is, deliberate. I really cannot say at this stage because we've had no indication from either union in relation to any issues that have arisen recently in relation to the school. What I can tell you, though, is that back in January, around the 28th of January, I would have met with the president of Mr. Spencer, the president of the BUT, and the issue of the Milton Lynch School was actually raised in relation to some roofing issues that we had done earlier in the year. Again, no other environmental issues had been raised at that time or any other concerns in relation to the specific school.
You have no legal leg to stand on. Attorney at law and Speaker of the House, Arthur Holder, is telling that to public service vehicle operators, threatening to sue the government for around $15 million. The lawsuit was threatened after a magistrate freed a PSB worker of all charges related to being inappropriately dressed. As a result, the operators have threatened to take action to recover all the monies they paid in fines over the last 5 years. But Holder believes the police commissioner could appeal the magistrate's decision this week. And he says, based on his research, there is no legal loophole, and the operators and conductors missed the boat as it relates to appealing their convictions. Government can expect more lobbying for changes to the sugar-sweetened beverages tax. That's the message from the head of a leading research agency on non-communicable diseases. Director of the George Allen Chronic Disease Research Center, Professor Alafia Samuels, does not believe the 4.3% decline in sales resulting from the tax goes far enough. Looking at other options, she tells Barbados Today another mechanism could be used to tax such beverages.
Right now, there's no incentive to the manufacturer to reduce sugar because it's an all or nothing tax. But if you had a tax where they could get less tax if they had less sugar, then that might prompt them to reduce the sugar a little bit. But you need to have that infrastructure to do the validation.
Professor Samuels wants the tax doubled from the current 10%, as has been suggested by the WHO and PAHO. She says the proceeds could be used to promote healthier lifestyles.
In Jamaica, there is a system called the National Health Tax. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The National Health Fund. And the National Health Fund in Jamaica is supported by taxation from tobacco and alcohol. So I think that something similar to that or some other mechanism could be found in Barbados, so that some of the money coming from the tax could be used directly to support health. I mean, we talked, for example, the other day about universal health care and a national health insurance scheme. This might be a way to use some of those funds because it is in fact a health tax and should be seen that way, that it's a health levy and should be used to promote the health of the people.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Over now to Guyana, where the Elections Commission is moving to advise the president that the 90-day constitutional deadline for general elections cannot be met. In the meantime, the commission says it will continue its approved work plan for the year, including a national host-to-host registration. We get the details from Capital News.
One of the issues voted on was that the commission cannot be operationalized to meet the 90 days deadline, and house-to-house registration will commence as per the commission's work plan. Capital News spoke with Commission member Vincent Alexander via telephone.
There were three decisions taken. One was that we cannot make that 90-day deadline. Two, that we have to have a new appropriation to fund the election. And three, in the meantime, we will return to our scheduled program of work for 2019.
GCOM's chairman, retired Justice James Patterson, used his casting vote to support the work plan for house-to-house registration to commence immediately.
One saw a 3-2 and 1 abstention. The one that we can't make in 90 days was a 3-2 with 1 abstention.
Okay.
But in fact, 2 abstentions because the chairman didn't vote on that one either.
Okay.
Other 2, 3-4.
This decision is not sitting well with the opposition People's Progressive Party, who issued a press statement this afternoon ridiculing GCOM's chairman for his casting vote.
And finally, on the international scene, Ugandans have abandoned the internet in the millions after the government imposed a social media tax last year. That's according to the Uganda Communications Commission. The country's president had pushed for the taxes to boost government revenue and to end gossip on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter. But the commission says internet subscription declined by more than 2.5 million users, and money being transferred through mobile phone payments also fell by $1.2 million since July 2018. And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.